asks about holiday let mortgage rates, and again, it's very generic, but Sophie's going to try and answer that question about holiday let mortgage rates. Sophie?
Yeah, we obviously do a lot of holiday lets then, and we see lots of different types in terms of people's strategy within that holiday let sort of sector as well. So what I mean by that is there are people out there that are buying, yeah, 3, 4 bed cottages in the lakes, etc. And when they're on this sort of smaller side, they look and smell and feel like a residential home that somebody would live in. There are a lot more options. So in terms of rates, there are some high street lenders that would lend to that, and as you can imagine, they're a lot more favourable in terms of the rates. It's more competitive rates and products in general with those types of properties. So you could be seeing anything from sort of 4, 4.5 upwards. Now, please also remember anything we're talking about is generic here. So when I'm talking about rates, that is one very small part of the product as a whole. The separate side of that is that, you can see some rates around the sort of low fours. However, they tend to come with fees. And it might actually be that when you speak to a broker and they look at the options, they end up offering you something significantly higher in the rate, but actually there's no fees. And that actually, as a product, is more cost effective if that's what suits you and your particular property you're buying. The other flip side of that coin is people buying larger properties, so multi-generational properties, 6 bedrooms and above, ex-guest houses or old bed and breakfast. It might even been that it was a hotel at once, and now you want to use it as a holiday let, get that on with Sykes, Airbnb, whatever. But that then just changes the rules of the game when we're going to lenders. So there's a smaller pool of lenders that we can approach when it's above 6 bedrooms. That's sort of your trigger point as to what lenders will lend to those properties. Doesn't mean you can't get a mortgage. You absolutely can. Changing who we're approaching. You're almost sort of pushing sometimes, especially when it's an old guest house or an old hotel for certain, you're going more down a commercial route, and therefore you're going to see that in terms of the rates and the products that are being offered.
Yeah.
So it may well be that you're seeing sort of 7%, etc. And again, typically they would be coming with fees. So have a chat with your broker if you've got something in mind. Don't just assume because it's a holiday let that there's a set rate. It isn't. It will depend on what you're buying, where you're buying it. So is it going to be classed as a holiday let versus SA? But hopefully that sort of gives you an idea.
Thanks, Sophie.